Good day, everyone. Abdurrahman here again. Still under the topic working capital management. And therefore, what basically we are examining under working capital management are basically the variables are those things that comprise the element of current asset and current liability. Because mathematically, we have to calculate or financially, let me use that word financially anyway. So we have to calculate our working capital. Working capital is a function of the current asset and current liability. Simply put, our working capital is what is current asset minus current liability. By that, we are going to arrive at what we call working capital. So therefore, we are going to examine all the elements of current asset and current liability, because these are what revolve around what we call working capital. As I've earlier said, that working capital is what current asset minus current liability. And therefore, what are those elements of current assets? One of the elements of current asset is what is stock. A stock. Yes, stock. And this inventory. So having identified, we have stock, we have debtors, we have cash. So we have work in progress, we have finished goods. So finished goods is an element of stock. So if that is finished goods, otherwise known as as stock. And you have in stock, so that's what is ready for sales anyway. So inventory, I say talking about stock. I won't say that therefore. Now, how do we manage our stock in order to do what? In order to achieve the set goal. What is the overall set goal of any business organization? The overall set goal of any business organization is to maximize the wealth of the shareholders. So how can we effectively manage our stock in order to maximize the wealth of the shareholder in the long run? That is exactly what we are talking about here, what I'm going to examine under our stock management. If that is the case, let's look at what we have here. So, in the production setting, in a manufacturing company, or buying and selling of items, so there is need to have a certain element or a certain level of stock available in your store in order not to do what, not to stock out. When we have stock out is a process whereby it's a situation whereby you don't have what, you don't have enough, or you don't have what to sell to customers when the customer demand for such goods. So therefore, to enhance continuous production, most companies carry stocks of raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. So all these are what we call stock. You can have stock of raw materials, you can have stock of work in progress, and you can have stock of finished goods. So that's what I'm talking about when I mean the element of stock. So it can either be raw materials, can either be work in progress, or finished goods. So to enhance continuous production, most companies carry stock of raw materials, work in progress, and finished goods, which may amount to a substantial proportion of the total asset of the business. Yes, when you invest in stock, the company, most company may have a high volume of investment in stock, which is going to do what? Account for a larger proportion of the working capital of the company. So, which more or the total asset or the total asset of the company, So now, what is what? What are these stock costs that you are talking about? What are the stock costs that I'm referring to here? We have stock costs. We have the purchase cost. We have the carrying cost. We have ordering cost. We have stock out cost. What are the stock associated with? What are the costs associated with what? With stock I'm talking about. So the cost associated is what? Purchase cost, carrying cost, ordering cost, and what? Stock out cost. So I'm going to explain each of these for clarity purpose and understanding, so that we're able to do what? To identify. When you say purchase cost, you should be able to know what I'm talking about. Or you see it in an examination situation, you're able to know what purchase cost is, you're able to know what carrying cost is, you're able to know what ordering cost and stock out cost is. So now, what is purchase cost? What is purchase cost? Purchase cost is the what? Is the supplier quotation. Purchase cost is simply what? Is simply the supplier's quotation. That is to say, when I mean the supplier quotation is what? Is the quotation, is the price. When I mean supplier, I say purchase cost is the supplier's quotation. What I mean by this is that it is the price, the total price, the total value of that what to, of the stock we are talking about, of the material, whether the raw material, whether the finished goods, of what we are talking about is what to, is the supplier quotation of what to, of the stock. Simply put, that is, you can say what the invoice value of what, of the stock, of the item is, of the stock itself. That is what we refer to as what? Purchase cost. The cost to pay for that or for that particular stock, for that particular item is what is the purchase cost. So what is carrying cost? So carrying costs are those costs that you incur right from the point of what to, when you are bringing the what, bringing the material, bringing the stock. So such as the costs include warehouse cost, include insurance cost, include the what to, cost of what, depletion cost, cost of privilege, cost of breakage, and the cost associated with you holding the stock. So those are what we call what the carrying cost. This with insurance, it deals with warehouse insurance cost, warehouse cost, cost of breakage, cost of what to spoilage and stuff like that. So that is what we refer to as what, as carrying cost. So this comprises of all the amount incurred to take care of the material after they have been purchased and stored in the warehouse. So it includes what, the cost of capital tie down on material in the warehouse. It includes the cost. It also includes the cost of material tie down. What is the cost of material tie down? The cost of capital of material tie down. You know, when you carry cost, when you purchase your stock, that value of money used to do what, in purchasing that stock, that money can be reinvested, can be invested into another venture. So for example, you can invest that money into what, maybe short-term security, which is going to do what, give you certain return at the end of the particular period of time. So calculating the cost, the rate of return which you are going to see from the other investment which is only for them, we have to put in the what, into the carrying cost too, in order to know the what, the total cost of what, of carriage. So we have cost of capital tie down and material and warehouse. We have cost of privilege, breakage, deterioration, the cost of rent, the cost of what, of handling and insurance. So those are the costs that comprise what, the carrying cost. Why the ordering cost is the cost. The ordering cost basically is what to, is the cost we incurred we spent in procuring the material up to the point it is stored in the warehouse. It is the cost we incurred in procuring the material up to the point it is stored in the warehouse. That is to say, the cost we incur in procuring after procurement of the material, after we have purchased, the cost is the cost you now incur in moving the material from where it is purchased to your point, to your endpoint. These are what we call the ordering cost. It includes the transportation cost. It includes the administrative cost of the purchasing personnel. So all costs are stated in the movement of that stock to your point of warehouse is called what, the ordering cost. So what is stock out cost? So basically, the stock out cost is the cost you are going to incur when you do what, when you are stock out. That is to say, it is the cost probably if you are storing of stock out when you don't have enough stock to do what to sell. So there's basically a cost you are going to incur on that too. What is the cost? If you tend to look at it intrinsically, but if you look at it very well, there is a cost you are going to incur, and the cost will include what? The profit element you're supposed to see on the stock you ought to have sold. So assuming you have sold that particular stock, assuming you have that particular stock in your store, you sell it out, you are going to see a certain element of profit on it. So when not having that stock in your store is what will have make you lost that profit margin. By that, therefore, is a cost. That is cost of what? Of stock house. It's one of what we call as stock of what? Stock house cost. So this is the amount incurred for carrying inadequate number of material in stock at any point in time. Example include loss of sales, loss of goodwill, payment of wages to idle workers. So stock house costs include that loss of sales. So you are going to lose that sales. Loss of what? Goodwill. When your customer comes and they do not see goods, after the first time they come, there's no good, there's not enough, there's not available, no goods are not available for them to buy. Second time, same stories. Third time, in fact, before you know it, they start looking for elsewhere to do what to make their purchase. So therefore, you are losing goodwill. Also, you also be paying idle staff because we have some staff in the store managing your stock for you. When there is no stock there, definitely you have to pay them. So you are paying idle staff. So these are what component of what to stock at cost. So now, what are the stock models we have? We have what we call the deterministic stock model, and what we have we have what we call the stochastic stock model. So what is the deterministic stock model? So a deterministic stock model is a situation, is a model in which everything is known with certainty. In which we said what we know everything here, everything about the stock is known with what with certainty. A deterministic stock model is a situation, is a model which says what to all information about the stock is known with certainty. So by that, therefore, it means we know the purchase price, we know the ordering cost, we know the time to order, we know everything, all the information about the stock is what is readily available to us. So a deterministic model is one in which all the parameters are known with certainty. In particular, the rate of demand and the supply lead time are known. While the stochastic model is a situation whereby all the parameters of the stock are not known with certainty. We tend to to attach a certain level of probability, a certain level of probability to determine the stock, to determine all information about the stock. So the stochastic model is one in which supply lead time or the rate of demand for an item is not known with certainty. However, demand or the lead time follow a known probability distribution, probably constructed on historical analysis of demand. So that's what I've said. This one with all parameters relating to the stock are known with certainty, where we don't know the parameters, the parameters attached to that stock with certainty. Therefore, there's a probability attached to stochastic model. So the concept of EOQ, and I'm talking about we have the popular concept we have this EOQ falls under the deterministic approach, where we have we call it so what is EOQ? EOQ simply means economic order quantity. The economic order quantity is the ordered quantity which minimizes the balance of cost between inventory holding cost and the order cost. So this is the economic order quantity. Simply put, it is the quantity in which is going to minimize the cost. It is the quantity in which the company should carry, the quantity of stock in which the company should carry at a particular period of time, in which is going to do in which is going to minimize all costs, either carrying costs or ordering costs. So that is what we call the economic order quantity. So I will say that the economic order quantity has some fundamental objective in which we want to achieve. So some of the fundamental objective is what? One, to determine the quantity that should be purchased anytime a fresh order is made. So one of the fundamental objectives of EOQ, as I've said earlier, that is to say the quantity you have to carry at a particular period of time in order to minimize your cost, all the relevant costs, both the carrying cost and the ordering cost. So one of the objectives is to determine the quantity of material, the quantity of stock to carry at a particular time. So secondly, another objective is to reduce to the barest minimum all costs that are associated with replenishment. just as what I've just explained is that it tends to do what to minimize the cost, both carrying cost and relevant cost. Those are just two objectives of what of EOQ. To determine the quantity to carry and to do what to minimize what the cost, both relevant both what ordering cost and carrying cost. So having said that, we have some assumptions under EOQ. EOQ is premises under some assumptions. So what are the assumptions of EOQ? So one of the assumptions of EOQ is that purchase price is constant. Purchase price is constant. One of the assumptions of EOQ is what? Purchase price is constant. Assumptions of EOQ. So assumptions of EOQ is said of purchase price I'm trying to minimize my space. Says what purchase price is constant. So purchase price is constant. That is, there's no discount whatsoever. So another assumption is that what annual demand is known with certainty. So annual demand one of the assumptions is what purchase price is constant, that is, there is no discount. Or the discount is not given, we don't have any situation of discount. That is one of the assumptions of what of you. The second assumption is what annual demand is known with certainty. That's like what we said there. So annual demand is known with certainty. That is to say, you know the annual demand of your customers outrightly with certainty for the year. So annual demand is known with certainty. So another assumption is what the lead time is what is zero. The lead time is zero. What by lead time is zero? That is to say, immediately you place the order, you are going to receive the stock. So the lead time is what is zero. There is instantaneous build up of inventory. The instantaneous build up of inventory. By this, therefore, we have examined what we mean by what to the economic order quantity. We have examined the stock management, the stock cost, the stock model, and I've also talked about what the economic order quantity, the objective of EOQ, and also the assumptions of EOQ. So let's now look at what we call the relevant cost. What are the relevant costs that we need to make decision with? What are the relevant costs that we need to make decision with? So, because of the space constraint, I will have to do what to drop this part. Let me just drop it because of my space constraint. So when you say relevant cost, so what are the relevant costs of stock under the EOQ, under the deterministic approach? What are the relevant costs? So basically we have what? Two relevant costs. Basically, the relevant costs are two. One is what? The ordering cost. And what to two? Carrying cost. So, when we want to look at what the total relevant cost, so total relevant cost is equal to total ordering cost plus total ordering cost plus total carrying cost. Okay, plus total so that is our total relevant cost. Now we can see that here we just mention what ordering cost and carrying cost. We did not make mention of what of purchase cost here. Why? Simply put, it is because we already know the ordering, we already know what the purchase cost, the certainty. So therefore, is a cost known? It does not vary. You cannot determine it does not vary. So the purchase cost is always constant. It's one of the assumptions of what of EOQ, that the purchase cost is always constant. By that, therefore, a cost that is constant, that does not change, is what is relevant for decision making. So these are just what the relevant costs, which are what ordering cost and carrying cost. So that is why these are just the relevant costs. So when you are asked to compute relevant cost, is what ordering total ordering cost plus total carrying cost. So we also have the way of computing our what total ordering cost. Total ordering cost. So in computing our total ordering cost, the formula for computing our total ordering cost, because we have this total ordering cost plus total carrying cost. So what is now the formula for computing total ordering cost? Okay, probably maybe I should start with the formula of what? Okay, I can start here and I will later give the formula for EOQ. Okay, so total ordering cost where total ordering cost is equal to total number of order. So number of orders in a year, number of times we place our order, number of orders in a year, number of orders, how many times did we place order, the number of times we place order, okay, multiplied by ordering cost. Ordering cost per order. So total number of order multiplied by ordering cost per order. This is ordering cost per order. In order for us to get the total ordering cost. So here the total carrying cost. So our total carrying cost therefore will be equals to Q over 2 times carrying cost. Where total carrying cost, where total, okay, so here where total is equal to, is given by the formula Q all over 2 times carrying cost. What is Q? What is Q in that scenario? Now our Q is the EOP computed. So Q in that scenario is the EOP computed. So from there we multiply it by what? By the carrying cost. We multiply by the carrying cost. So Q, as I've said, the Q is what is the EOQ computed. So where Q is equal to EOQ computed. EOQ we computed. So divided by 2. Divided by this Q is what is the EOQ. So divided by 2 and multiply by the carrying cost, given in the formula, given in the question rather. So therefore, when you now have this will be this, why this total carrying cost will be this, you get the answer, you get the value and you add it together, sum it up, you have the total relevant cost. So what is the formula for EOQ? EOQ is computed using the formula 2 root 2 DOC, this 2 DOC all over carrying cost, where 2 is constant, 2 normal to 2, where D is equal to annual demand If you are given demand on a monthly basis, you have to do what? Gross it up. You have to make it annual. So it must be annual demand. Where OC is equal to ordering cost. And CC is equal to carrying cost. So this is the formula in which you are going to use to get our EOQ. So root 2 doc 2 DOC, D is what? It now means 2 times annual demand times ordering cost, divided by carrying cost, before you now look for the square root of the total of the answer, the value you are going to have there. So the answer you are going to have here is your Q here. Now the Q on over 2. So these are the formulas in which you are going to be using. We are talking about going to be talking about EOQ. So therefore, at this point, we have started the subtopic under working capital, which is what? Stock management. We are saying how production company tends to do what, or any sales and distribution company, whether it's production company, is the production company be having the effect of what? Of work in progress and raw material. But it's what? Just a distribution company, just have what? The stock. You just have to work, you just have the finished goods. So therefore, at a particular point in time, in order not to stock out, a production company or a sales and distribution company tends to do what? It tends to have stock on hand in order to do what? In order to guide against stock out. In order not to stock out. So, therefore, we also examine the stock model, where we have the deterministic model and the stochastic model. Also, I've also examined what the stock cost, where we have the purchase cost, where we have the ordering cost, we have the carrying cost, and we have the stock out cost. So I've also examined what under the deterministic stock model we have what we call the EOQ, in which the deterministic model is saying that all the parameters of the stock are known with certainty. So therefore we have the EOQ there, while the stochastic model is saying what? You don't know all the parameters with certainty, but what a certain level of probability can be attached to these parameters. So therefore, under the deterministic model, we have what we call the EOQ, and this is the formula for EOQ. We also examine the concept of what we call the total relevant cost, which are what? Ordering cost and carrying cost. Purchase cost is not here, simply because of the assumption of EOQ, which is that purchase costs are always are constant, and we don't do with constant costs are not relevant costs for decision making. So that's why we have this. And what is our total relevant cost? Total ordering cost plus total carrying cost. So where total ordering cost is got the number of orders in a year, that is how did I get the number of orders? The number of orders is what to annual demand divided by EOQ. You are going to know your number of orders. And ordering cost per order. Total relevant cost is what? Q, which is what? Where is our Q here? Our Q is EOQ. Over 2 times carrying cost. So we have the EOQ formula here. So at this point, I'm going to call it the class now. In my next video, we're going to solve question on EOQ. You see how it works. To solve question on EOQ, look at the total relevant cost and the stocks. Anyway, another cost that we need to examine is going to be examined under the exercise in which you are going to see in the next video. Thanks for listening. I appreciate your time. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, kindly click on the subscribe button, share the video, like the video. If you have any comment, kindly put a comment in the comment section, and I will be glad and I will respond to the comment appropriately. Thanks for listening. I appreciate and God bless.